The story of Enoch, a man who lived in the early days of humanity, is shrouded in wonder. What does it mean to walk with God? Why did Enoch not experience death? And what lessons can we learn from his life? Today, we uncover the life of Enoch, a man who stands as a beacon of faith and righteousness in a world descending into darkness. Let's journey together into this remarkable narrative. Enoch's story begins in Genesis 5, during the early generations of humanity. He lived in a time of rapid population growth and increasing moral decay. This was an era when people were still close to the origins of creation. Adam and Eve were only a few generations removed, and the memories of the Garden of Eden were likely passed down through oral tradition. The Bible tells us that Enoch was born to Jared, making him the seventh generation from Adam. This positioning is symbolic. 7 often represents completeness or perfection in Scripture, hinting that Enoch's life would be uniquely significant. Enoch was the father of Methuselah, the longest living person in history, who lived 969 years. Methuselah's age links him to the timeline of the Great Flood, as he died in the same year the floodwaters came. This suggests that Enoch's life and his lineage played a pivotal role in God's unfolding plan for humanity. Unlike others in the genealogy, where their lives are summarized as birth, children, and death, Enoch's story is distinct. Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. Genesis 5:24. To walk with God is a phrase that implies an ongoing, intimate relationship. It suggests that Enoch's life was marked by a deep connection with the Creator, a level of faith and obedience that set him apart from the rest of humanity. Enoch's walk with God wasn't a momentary event, it was a lifelong journey. Imagine Enoch, day after day, seeking God in prayer, meditating on His will, and aligning his life with God's commandments. This wasn't an easy feat in a world increasingly influenced by wickedness, leading up to the corruption that would result in the flood. The Bible doesn't provide specific details about what Enoch did or said, but his faithfulness speaks volumes. He lived in a time when humanity was moving further away from God, yet he stood out as a man who refused to conform to the world's ways. Enoch's significance isn't limited to Genesis. In Jude 1:14-15, we learn that he was also a prophet. Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about them. See, the Lord is coming with thousands upon thousands of his holy ones to judge everyone, and to convict all the ungodly of all the ungodly acts they have committed in their ungodliness. This prophecy is extraordinary for several reasons. First, it shows that Enoch had a deep understanding of God's plan, including events far beyond his own time. He foresaw the coming judgment, not just in his era, but also at the end of time. Enoch's words serve as a warning to those who reject God, emphasizing the consequences of ungodliness. His prophecy connects the ancient world to the future, demonstrating that God's plan is timeless and consistent. The Bible states that Enoch didn't experience death. By faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. Hebrews 11:5. What does this mean? The phrase "God took him away" suggests that Enoch was translated directly into God's presence. Like the prophet Elijah, who was taken to heaven in a whirlwind, Enoch's departure is one of the great mysteries of Scripture. The lack of a physical death for Enoch sets him apart as a unique figure in the Bible. His life and departure symbolize the ultimate reward of faithfulness, a direct relationship with God and escape from the curse of death. Imagine the shock and wonder of those who searched for Enoch only to find that he was gone. His departure would have left a powerful testimony to God's favor and the reality of his promises. Enoch's story is more than a historical account. It's a lesson in faith. The author of Hebrews includes Enoch in the Hall of Faith, a list of individuals who demonstrated extraordinary trust in God. Enoch's faith wasn't passive, it was active and transformative. He didn't simply believe in God's existence, he lived out his belief in every aspect of his life. His walk with God was a daily commitment, a continuous surrender to the Creator's will.
For more Bible content, remember to subscribe, like and turn on your notification bell.